Lovianhal, Star Fam. How are you? You good? Good. I'm good too. Today's juice is spinach, lemon, cucumber, parsley, coriander. You know what I'm talking about. Apple and celery. I think I said all the things. There's a lot of things. Yep. And lemon, I think I said too. It's good. Tastes very green. So, many moons ago, I wrote my first book, the Stellar Trilogy, Book 1, Among Us. I wrote this book. I had not had any intention of writing a book. Since I graduated from college and I went to Hampton, and I took a screenwriting class. I was writing films. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to write films and potentially star in them as well. So I was a speech and theater major. And so graduated from college, I'm writing films, but not any that I've ever completed. I have stored somewhere in a box. I have lots and lots of half-completed screenplays. Woo! Great ideas. I'm a very visual person, so I saw how the film or the TV series is gonna fly. Anyway, so I've always, since like 10th grade, I've been keeping a journal, and into adulthood, I still keep a journal. And there was this one, I used to buy my journals in doubles. So wherever I got them from, I think at the time I used to get them from Barnes & Noble because they had all the pretty ones, and that's when I was splurging. If I didn't have splurge cash, I would get them from the dollar store. But I would buy two, and that's kind of how I would know like which stage in my life I was in, because none of them would really be the same, but they'd be double, two of the same one. And so those two journals would be considered a phase. I don't know what the maths are there, but we'll just go with it. So I had these two red journals that I was writing in, and I had scribbled down some insights. It was a part of a story. It was an idea. It was something that was kind of resonating with me. And one of my dear friends at the time, you can actually read the story in the Dear Reader part of Book 1 if you're into it. They tell the whole story. This is the Stars Notes of that. Talking to a dear friend at the time who's kind of famous. And I don't know where our conversation was going, but I read him this idea in this journal that I was keeping. And he was like, that needs to be a movie. You need to write the book. And I was like, write the book? He was like, you need to write the book. I was like, that's not my ministry. I'm writing films. I don't write books. And he was like, yeah, but when you write the book, you're actually fleshing out the idea. And then you write the book, and then you write the film or wherever else is going to be. And then you've already have a built-in audience for the film when you write the book. And I was like, I can't write a book. And what was interesting about that is I had continued to say in my head, I'm not a book writer. I'm not a novelist. I'm not any of this. And when I finally sat down and decided, well, what if I try? I'll just write a page. And so I wrote a page. Okay, I'll write another page. So I wrote another page. Okay, I'll write. And it was like every day I sat down and I put a page down. And before I knew it, I had chapters. And what was cool about the experience is that I was able to read them pretty much as I wrote them. This friend happened to be on tour, so I would call him whenever I was, had a chapter or whatever. And he would listen. He was like, that's amazing. Keep going. So I had a built-in kind of cheering section that helped me keep going. And eventually I had a completed first draft. And it was really powerful and it was really interesting. And I thought I was going to change the world. I'm also going to say that when I first finished this story, as I was writing it, I had, remember those little Vios, those little Sony Vios? I was writing it on that. And honey, I would carry this Vio around with me like the Men in Black were coming for me, because what I was writing was just transformational and the secrets of the universe, and somebody's after me. I'm still here, so we're good. So my point being, I guess in saying all of that, is that one foot in front of the other is how we get places. The other thing I want to say about that was when I first finished the book, it wasn't finished. It took me, I published book 1 in 2013. I want to say I wrote it in 2008. So you do the maths on how long it took me to actually publish it. And it took a while because part of it was I wasn't ready to put my name on it. Part of it was it scared me so dastardly that I wasn't even willing to talk about it. I was trying to do everything in secret. I know that there are places for pen names and all of that, but this story wasn't that. This story I needed to be front and center about. And because it's a journey. And it's a spiritual journey. It is an adventure. It is a spiritual adventure. It is a lot of things. It even has, this is the origin story of Star People. And when I say Lovianhal Star People, that language that I'm using, that I created for this story, isn't here. And I hadn't intended on creating a language. It was just a part of the process. The English language, and I don't know any other languages. I dabble in French. But the languages that I have access to did not speak to what needs to be said or what needed to be said in the story. And so I made up a language. It's called Tuastai, and it means tongue of stars. Star People origin story. Yay. So I want to talk more about the other books, because once I finally published book 1 in 2014, I published book 2. And in 2015, I published book 3. So they came out just like that once I finally published the first one. And then in 2024, I finally got book 4 out of the womb. So I have 4 books, and all 4 of these books started with a blurb, a couple pages in a red journal that a friend encouraged me not to write the film first, but to write the books. And now, for somebody who, that's not my ministry, it is my whole ministry right now. So I just wanted to share that for those of you who are maybe grappling with starting something big, maybe grappling with this idea of themselves that you have decided. And the journey is the journey, right? Just take a step and do something a little bit outside of your comfort zone and see where it leads you. So that's that on that. I love you. I'll see you next time. Peace. Lovianhal.